So you've decided to list your home. Congratulations. Now, the big question I get from sellers is, what is the timeline from when I list my home, get an offer until we close and I get the money in the bank? It's a great question. And I'll have the answer for you in a second. Hi, I'm Mark Carton with Carton Real Estate Services in Queens, New York, and the answer is pretty simple. There's three different versions of the answer. So potential number one, you're selling your home for cash buyer. So the closing is going to be between 30 and 45 days. So always a little wiggle room, things can happen, but in a nutshell, 30 to 45 days. Now, option two is you're selling your home to a buyer who's getting a mortgage. So that is going to be 60 to 90 days, 2 to 3 months. Again, little wiggle room. It could be extended by 15 days, but by and large, 2 to 3 months. Now, the third option is selling your co-op or condo for cash or a mortgage. It's going to take between 3 and 5 months. And the big difference is board approval. So that's always the unknown, but in general, it's 3 to 5 months. So now let's go into the process. There's really just 6 steps to the whole selling process, and here they are. So before we start with the 6 steps, number one, you have to list your home. And number two, you need to choose a real estate attorney. You want to do this before you have an offer. You don't want to be running around interviewing attorneys, whether it's for experience or price or logistics or whatever it is. Find the attorney that you want to use and have them all set so that your listing agent can send that offer to them to start the process and get the ball rolling. Okay, so the 6 steps. Step one is that we're going to get an offer from a buyer or buyers. And that offer is known as a deal sheet, because in New York, agents can't write contracts. So we have to get a deal sheet, which are all the terms, and then we move forward from there. So let's say I'm representing you on the sale of your home and we get multiple offers. We're going to look at all the offers. We're going to decide together which one is best. I'll give you the pros and cons. You'll make your determination which one to move forward on, and then which ones we'll leave as a backup, okay? And then we're going to start the process. We tell the buyer's agent, I would tell the buyer's agent that the offer is accepted and they are going to schedule the home inspection. So it's the home inspection and the termite inspection. Except for a condo and a co-op, they usually don't do an inspection and they don't need to do termite. So that is this, we're just talking about single, 2, 3, 4 family home. All right. So that getting the offer is a day. They're going to schedule with their home inspector. So now home inspectors, spring coming into summer is going to be busy. So that scheduling, availability, access, getting the report, reviewing the report, the buyer along with his agent, could take anywhere between 2 and 7 days. All right, so now we're up to 8 days. So now, based on the results of the report, they're going to say, we want to change what our offer is accordingly. We want to ask for a credit for X amount of dollars because this is what we found. Or we want X, Y, and Z to be fixed off of this repair list, okay? That's great. They still want to move forward. Now they have these issues. So now the listing agent, the agent representing the seller, is going to send the offer, the deal sheet, along with what the buyer's requests are, along to your real estate attorney. Now, the attorney is going to forward, this is a draft, they're going to forward that to the buyer's attorney, a draft of the proposed terms. The buyer's attorney is going to negotiate with your attorney, seller's attorney, and they're going to come to terms. Then a draft proposal of the contract is going to be sent to the buyer's attorney for the buyer to review. They will sign off on it and approve it. And then they will deposit 10% of the contract price into escrow. And then the buyer's signed contract is going to be sent to the seller's attorney, and then you're going to sign off on that. Okay, so now we have a fully executed contract. That's great. We're almost there. So now that you're under contract, now if you are selling a home, you and they're getting a mortgage, so they have to go through an appraisal, and then they have to get their mortgage commitment letter. So that's going to take another, they say 45 days. Okay, so let's say 30 to 45 days. Again, if the appraisal, if it doesn't appraise for the agreed upon sales price, one of three things can happen. This is what we call a deal going sideways potentially, but nobody wants that to happen. So you agree to a price of $1 million. The appraisal comes back for $940,000. All right, we're $60,000 off. One of three things can happen. So you can say, all right, I'll reduce my price to $940,000. That's what the bank says it's worth. We can challenge the appraisal if we based it on reality of what sold comps were. That's another video, but we can challenge it or we can accept it. So you accept the 940, we move forward, because now with the approved appraisal that the bank will accept, they can give you the commitment letter, and we can move on to closing. Okay. The second option of those three options is that you say, no, I'm not accepting $940,000. You, Mr. Buyer, Mr. Mrs. Buyer, Ms. Buyer, whoever, you can pay the difference. Okay, so we're $60,000 off, pay the difference in cash, and we're going to close for $1 million. They can say yes, no, maybe we'll come to some compromise in between. All right. The third option is that nobody can agree. One stuck at 940, the other one stuck at $1 million, and you agree to disagree, and the sale ends, and the home goes back on the market. Happens a lot. All right. My job is, as well as the attorneys, is to get this to work for everybody so that it's a win-win, and we're not starting over from scratch, and that you leave as a happy camper on your way to your next adventure within the time frame and the money that is realistic for you. This is just all full transparency. Once we have the appraisal, the mortgage contingency, if you're buying a home, then we can set up closing. And from the closing date, to get that scheduled, it's usually about 2 to 4 weeks, because everybody's schedule has to match for the two attorneys, and the title company and the mortgage company have to all be in alignment to come to a table closing. So that's really the whole process. Now, the other option is if you are selling a condo or a co-op. At the same time that the fully executed contract is received, it goes off to the board along with the package, the board approval package that the buyers filled out, and then it's veered off to the mortgage company as well. All right, and so when everything is done, the mortgage commitment letter is approved, and then the board letter from the condo association or the co-op association is issued, then we can move on to closing, again, 2 to 4 weeks. So there you have it. Was I eloquent? Maybe not so much, but that's the timeline. So I hope that helps, and it's really not that bad, but it all depends on what your mindset is. So better to manage your expectations up front and know what we're looking at, and then we can go from there. So if you have any questions about anything that I spoke about above, or any other questions that I can answer for you, I'm always available to take your call, email, text, FaceTime, Skype, what else? Zoom. Anyway, again, I'm Mark Carton. Thanks for your time, and I wish you the best of luck with the sale of your home.